we score the goal!
Hi everybody and welcome to episode 11 of the Coach Killers podcast. My name's Nick and I'm here with Stefan. How you going, Stefan?
Mate, it's been a busy week for me, mate, since we last recorded.
Yes, very busy.
I don't know what have you been doing, by the way?
Well, I've been watching the FFA Cup games.
Like me.
Yeah, the round of 32, some, good games there. There's one tonight.
Yes, there is one tonight. We will be there, everybody. Bentley Greens versus Wellington Phoenix.
Yeah, Stephen Taylor's side.
Yeah, Stephen Taylor, top man. If you want us to sign your baseball caps, we'll be there. So give us a shout out.
Also been watching the Community Shield. That was
Terrible
a
game.
good little... It was terrible, but it was a good little lead up to the EPL starting this week.
Yes, a nice taste, if you like, of the season.
That's about it.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Stefan?
No, that's been it. Just FFA Cup I've been watching. Just been looking at transfer news.
Yep.
Like I said, we're going to be down at the ground tonight after this session. So
Yeah. But let's get stuck into it. Let's start off with our Coach Killer of the Week.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Where's my drum roll, Stefan?
here it is.
And our Coach Killer of the Week is...
Juventus.
Juventus. Why is Juventus our Coach Killer, Stefan?
Well, what we were speaking about in our last episode has come to fruition, Nick.
Yeah, what was that?
Higuain and Caldara have gone to AC Milan.
Oh, the swap, yeah.
The swap, and Bonucci's gone back to Juventus. I can't believe it.
Horrible decision.
What a joke. What a joke. They're fried.
How can
They're
you
actually
bring someone back when, he had massive issues with the coach last time around?
Well, there was a rumour going around that him and Allegri in the change room after a Champions League game were full on, holding each other's shirts and ready to go and knock each other out. So
They must have gotten over it if he's brought him back in.
Silly move, mate.
Yeah.
Silly move. You get rid of Higuain. He's one of the best finishers in Europe. Plus
Yeah.
Caldara, a young guy. Unheard of, could be a potentially great centre-back for even Italy maybe one day.
Definitely.
And you go and give him to AC Milan as part of a deal.
Bonucci's past his prime.
That's right.
I don't agree getting rid of the youth. It's not a good move, and Higuain didn't look happy.
Once again, that's right. To go to AC Milan at his level at the moment, I think is the wrong move for him, club-wise.
But I would have liked to have seen Higuain maybe go to the Premier League.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better decision for him.
Yeah, try having a new challenge. He played in Spain, spent most of his career in Italy. Something different.
Dominating the Italian league,
Yes.
might I ask you.
Yes.
And now it's like you've sold this great striker who probably could have played with Ronaldo to an arch rival, which is silly.
So I think that's probably why he might have left. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to go too. Just he might have thought, Ronaldo's come in, maybe more bench time for me.
Well, look, it's obviously.
He's coming towards the end of his career as well. He's not the youngest bloke.
Yeah, I know that. Look, in terms of the whole deal, AC Milan have benefited a lot, but even Juve as well, because they've obviously signed Bonucci as a top-up player because they just want to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
If you look at their list, they've got there's no one there that's growing apart from Dybala. They're all really at stops in their careers, all the rest of the players. They need to win a trophy. If they don't win
they got
the Champions
Ronaldo,
League,
mate. That's all that matters. But
Well,
still,
we'll see what
Juventus,
happens.
you're our Coach Killer of the Week.
That's right.
Let's move on to the Game of the Week now.
What a headshot! What a head!
And our game of the week is...
It was the FA Community Shield.
Who wants the
Cup.
shield?
Chelsea and Man City. Man City won it 2-0.
Terrible game. Not
It
impressed.
wasn't the best, a bit dull. Man City dominated. They dominated the possession, the shots.
Yeah,
What were the stats? It was like 5 shots to Chelsea.
Chelsea's 5 shots. And
Yeah.
I'm a bit thrown into the wind with that because
Sarri
Sarri plays a very attacking style of football. So I'm thinking to myself, how can you only have 5 total shots in a whole match?
Yeah, totally.
Knowing there's a cup at stake as well, which could boost his career personally because he's got no trophies in his cabinet, So, mate, if you're a Chelsea fan, I'd be shaking.
It's not all dismal for Chelsea.
No, it's
Sarri's
only
just come
pre-season,
in.
yeah.
He's just come in a month ago, if that. Has he won over the change room? Has he won over the players?
Obviously not.
You know what I mean? They still got to adapt to him, his play style. It takes time. You know what I mean? You can't do it in a month. Look at Spain in the World Cup.
Yeah, I know.
Shambles.
That's true.
But Man City look good.
Very good.
Very good.
As per usual. Aguero
they always
with a brace.
they always win the possession. You know, it's Pep's MO. You know, but what can you do? You know,
Great mate. I'll tell you
start.
what.
Got me excited for the Premier League.
Great start to the season for Manchester City, mate. The way they needed to start it. So good on them. And Pep's obviously very happy with it. So
yeah. Well, speaking of the Premier League, you know, it starts this weekend. How exciting is that?
Oh, mate, I can't wait.
Yeah, I cannot wait either. You know, the kickoff game, Manchester United versus Leicester.
Boo!
I'm a bit upset. You know, they still haven't signed anyone. You know, we need that right
We
back.
don't care.
We need that
we
winger.
don't care that you haven't signed anyone, all right?
And that rubbish that's come out yesterday. Pogba's going to Barcelona.
I hope he does. I hope he does. No, he's not going to go anywhere.
No,
he's not
he won't.
going nowhere.
I don't see that. 2 days left in the transfer window.
Not going to happen. All false lies, as per usual.
I think, rubbish. We'll see next week anyway. We'll have a bit more information.
Yeah, we will.
But a lot
games.
of clutch games. Yeah, a lot of teams missing players.
Yeah, so
from the World Cup, they still haven't come back. You know, for the players that went deep into the World Cup.
I mean, I'm looking at these games, right? The first match day games like Liverpool, West Ham, Newcastle, Tottenham. Now, even Arsenal, Man City, right?
Yeah.
They're all awaiting their real strong starting lineups to come back.
Yeah, they're missing their
So
a few players yet.
The start of this Premier League season, someone's going to be up there racking up the points that shouldn't even be up there competing.
For the first couple of weeks, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say couple
this
of
is
weeks.
Arsenal's
I'd say first
chance.
5 or 6 games.
No.
We'll see.
A majority of the players have come back now, but you know they need a couple of weeks
there's a bit of
build
star
up the
power
fitness.
missing.
There is. But this is Arsenal's chance to get a win.
Having a dig at Arsenal.
No, it's their chance to beat Man City. You know,
Mate,
they're not going to be in top form.
I'm telling you now, they'll be ready for that game, and it'll be a cracker.
Yeah.
Which is why it's going to be our game of the week next week. So,
that's right. Yeah, Arsenal Man City is our game of the week next week.
Whoever gets off to a good start, by the way, is going to be the one that will skip away in this Premier League season because everyone's starting on a back foot, and if you're a mid-table team, right, and you got your strong lineup ready to go, mate, they got the massive advantage. Those teams like, Newcastle. West Ham, they've both made great signings.
I totally disagree.
All right, we'll see.
Total rubbish, man.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if I'm total rubbish.
It shouldn't be called the EPL anymore. It should be called the Manchester Cup because it's going to the blue side or the red side, to United or City.
The blue. You guys are not competing.
Mate,
no chance.
We finished second last season.
By 20
City
points.
will not. We only had one bad month.
By 20
We had
points.
one bad month. Doesn't matter. City will not
doesn't
replicate.
matter. You finished second by 20 points. You cannot say...
It was 19 points.
Mate, they've just won the FA... They've won the Community Shield. They're on a great path. That's right.
There's my admiration for them, but who cares? Who cares?
I do.
I think they will not... they won't reach the same heights they did last season. They'll have more trouble.
You're just hoping for that.
It'll happen.
Yeah, your team's the one starting
put
with
your
their
house on
2
that.
best players on the bench this weekend.
Well, they
right.
They have to build in, but I think it'll be much closer. But
mate, for me,
as we said last
Arsenal to win the title, or Man City's going to bulldoze everyone again.
Oh, we'll see what happens. Exciting times, you know. It's starting. I can't wait. Game on. Let's move on to another league that's kicking off this weekend as well.
Yes, Ligue 1.
Yeah, the French league.
Yeah, the French league is starting this weekend.
Not as exciting.
Not exciting.
Bit of a Mickey Mouse league.
Yeah, PSG's Ligue 1.
Yeah.
Can they score more goals? Can they score more goals than they did last year, or can they, concede less? That's the main target for them because they win the thing.
That's right. Well, PSG should be aiming to go deep into Champions League.
That's their main aim. But can Marseille challenge them? I wonder. Rudy Garcia.
Well, they did well. They made the Europa League final last season.
With what they had as well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, good effort. I think PSG has it sewn up, in my opinion.
Me too. I agree.
Their focus needs to be on the Champions League,
and
making that semi-final final.
Thomas Tuchel is a new manager, and Gigi Buffon coming in. So
coming in to sit on the bench and collect money.
They've definitely done the right thing. They've done the right thing on the field for the future of the club.
Do you think Gigi will start? Do you think he
starts?
starts?
I reckon he will.
First goalkeeper, you reckon?
Mate, it's Gianluigi Buffon, the greatest goalkeeper of all time. So don't even get me started. There's no better keeper than Gianluigi Buffon.
I think that's a bit biased, but anyway.
It's not biased. I'm not a Juventus fan.
You're an Italian fan.
It doesn't matter.
But also, we had a little bit of transfer news this week.
Yeah, massive transfer news.
Yep.
Arturo Vidal, the Rooster.
Yeah, where's he gone?
Barcelona.
Where's he gone, Stefan? Yes.
Barcelona. The big shark again.
It was a great signing for them. I think they got him really cheap, like 35 million or something like that. It was very...
Look, they just brought him in.
Very good business.
Relax. You're talking about it like as if, it's a great signing and he's going to make them win titles.
No,
Mate, he's just there to fill the gap for Iniesta, that's all.
He's going to be...
To fill that place.
He's going to be great for them. Like,
He's
that's a good signing.
prime.
I don't
He's
know
past
why
his
other
prime.
teams went in for him, but, it's quite cheap,
I reckon-
man, for a world-class player.
I think Barcelona stuffed up. I
Why?
reckon they should have gone for Luka Modric or someone. Someone that's just come off a great World
Modric
Cup.
is apparently going to Inter Milan, so we'll see what
That's the
happens
rumour.
there.
I don't know. We'll see.
But,
I doubt it will happen.
well done, Barca. They got him. They got Malcolm. They're looking good. They're not getting Pogba.
We'll see about that.
But, that was a good piece of business. Another massive transfer for the A-League.
This hits home more.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's finally confirmed as well. Like, we've been waiting.
And we mentioned it. We were the first podcast in Australia to mention it 2 weeks ago on our episode
definitely
9
we were.
show. So
Tell us.
basically, the news is that Keisuke Honda has officially signed for the Melbourne Victory.
Huge.
So unbelievable.
I'm so
news.
wrapped with that.
I'm wrapped as well.
Yeah.
Look, it's a great pickup for the A-League. Even the kids that are at Melbourne Victory, like, the young Stefan Negro there as well. The player.
Your namesake.
Yeah, my namesake. Basically, seriously, all the youngsters there, they're going to learn so much off him. He's world-class, mate. And that's what the A-League needs, world-class players. And we've got one.
Yeah, well, it's great to see. Hopefully, a few of the other teams in the A-League can lure these big names like...
As long as they abolish, that salary cap.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
needs to go. And, the FFA chipping in, I don't think that's good.
I don't think that's good. But you know what? We can't afford to afford these players on their
Well,
own.
they're
The
not on
clubs
the
can't
same
sustain
wages,
That's right.
as they are in England or in Spain.
I mean, you're talking about a guy like Honda, right? Let's say. Now, he's by far Japan's biggest marketable player, right?
Yeah, huge.
Ever. So that's number one. Number two, he's played for CSK Moscow and AC Milan. He won the Asian Cup with Japan. He went to, I think, 3 World Cups with Japan.
Yeah.
Right? So you're talking about a big, big star. Now,
That's right.
the wages...
But the FFA is paying half the deal.
And I heard as well SBS and Fox Sports are part of the deal as well. So, I mean, it's obviously a big coup for the A-League, which is good. However,
massive.
I think in future, the A-League clubs have got to try sustain the money themselves to pay for these big players. You can't be saying to the FFA, hey, give me the money so I can go get a Del Piero or a Honda anymore.
That's right. But if they're helping them, they should be helping every team,
That's correct. I think it's only fair,
But, so great bit of business for the A-League. Can't wait for that to see that as well. We're lucky enough to live in Melbourne and
so we'll be there. Well,
get
we're
to watch him every
definitely-
week.
Well, look, we'll get to watch him every week, which is great. And number two, we might be able to get him on the podcast, which would be great.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Melbourne Victory, we got to sit down with Carl Valeri this week, the captain.
Yes, that was amazing.
This is how our interview went.
Our special guest today won the A-League twice with Melbourne Victory. He's their captain. He also won the Serie B with Sassuolo. Could you please welcome Mr. Carl Valeri?
How you going, Carl?
Well, thanks, guys. How are you?
Yeah, great to have you on.
Yes, mate. Great
we
to have
heard
you
you're
on.
stuck in a bit of Melbourne traffic.
Yeah, and it's raining too. Fantastic.
That's all right. So let's just kick this off. And when you started playing football, who was your mentor growing up? Like, did you have anyone take you under their wing?
Look, I was lucky enough. My father was well into his football. He played, he coached, so I had him growing up. And I'm really close with my family. I'm big on family. I'm with my family, my wife and my kids, and I'm still very close to my parents and my brother and sister. And I think having that kind of network, and especially my father as a coach, mentor, really helped me along my career.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Good stuff, definitely.
It's good to have, be close with your family.
Especially
like
if it's family, it makes it easier.
Yeah. Look, I mean, a lot of people see the fancy side to football, and I get it, but it is tough. It's a cutthroat sport, and you need that support around you. And I'm very lucky throughout my career. I've had fantastic support, and without that support, to be very honest, I wouldn't have been able to play at the level I've played at.
Yeah. So, Carl, explain to us the feeling of getting called up to the Inter Milan youth system, mate.
Well, that was a massive shock. I remember clearly because we just finished the under-17s World Cup, and I had a great tournament. I didn't realise at the time, but reflecting back, I did have a great tournament, and when you're young, you just play. You don't really think about
that's
how
right.
Yeah, you just want to play. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So from there on, Inter Milan contacting my agent, I was starstruck. I was going to go play at Inter Milan. I couldn't believe it. And at the time, Inter Milan had some of the biggest names in football. So for me, it was a dream come true. And then to get there and to see how hard it was going to be was another big shock. To get there and see the quality of players I was coming up against, it was a massive shock. And to actually see how far I was behind was a big reality check for me. Because
So you're saying there's a massive difference between the youth here and the youth
In Italy?
in Italy?
massive difference. What they learned, what I was learning coming into the academy, they had been doing since they were 8.
Wow.
So it was very tough. Yeah,
It's
it was
very interesting.
tough. Yeah.
Very interesting. So more based on that, what would you say, is the main differences between playing in, the Serie B or the Serie C compared to playing in the A-League?
Probably the main difference again is just it's very cutthroat. There's relegation, there's promotion up for grabs.
Yeah.
It's, where there's maybe one of me or two of me here in Australia, there's another 50 in Italy. So that if you get injured, if you're not performing, you're out, and you may not get another chance. So it's cutthroat in that sense, and that's why I think the players that succeed in Europe are amazing, not only for the player they are, but for the mental strength they have to keep pushing themselves, to those limits.
Yeah, of course.
Carl, look, mate, I'm Italian myself by heritage, but do you think Italian football's very tough?
Mate, I think it's one of the toughest out there. And the only thing that's holding back the Italian football, in my opinion, is the Italians, that they're not letting it grow. Teams aren't having their own stadiums.
Yeah.
It's less of a spectacle, but the level, the quality players that are around there, and, you go through all the Serie A, it's called, I think, Serie B still, and Lega Pro Uno.
Yeah.
The amount of quality that's there is truly amazing. And, I'm excited to see what Italian football can do once they catch on. You look at the example of Juventus. Once clubs start doing what Juventus are doing, how big the Serie A can grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's
I agree.
true. That's true.
Well, look, Carl, I'm a Roma fan, and I want to know from you, what was it like working with Di Francesco, and how did you find him as a coach?
Eusebio is amazing. Honestly, the way he plays, he's a pleasure to play football. He doesn't mind if you concede 4 as long as you score 5. And I think that's true. And, even as a defensive-minded player, playing that system, it's very exciting and very rewarding. And, players want to play. Players really enjoy their football when they're carefree. And that's what he really creates, an environment where players can go out and express themselves. And I think it showed in Roma this season. And, I've worked with some great coaches, and he's up there with one of the best. But what I really liked about him is the way he is with his family and his friends. You can see he's very much a family and friends man. He's very close knit. He likes his teams to be very close. He often organises dinner. We're doing dinners twice a week when we had him at the school. So he likes that intimate feel, and I have a lot of respect for him. Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So you won the Serie B title, which is an amazing accomplishment, How does it rank in your career compared to winning the A-League? Like, what do you see as a bigger accomplishment achievement?
Well, at the time, obviously getting the promotion from Serie B to Serie A, especially for a player like myself, who at that time, at that stage in my career, that was the only way I was ever going to reach the Serie A, was getting promotion through the club. And to do that at such a small club with such a fantastic group, it was very special. But then again, the A-League titles are special to me because I got to win them in front of my family, my friends. And, having my family and friends beside me on the pitch is truly special, and they got to really share that. Whereas in Italy, it was kind of just me and my wife at the time, so it was only us enjoying it, which is still fantastic. But to share with my father, So the A-League titles are very special to me for that reason.
Great, yeah. Well, how do you think Victory will go this season, Carl? I mean, can you guys replicate last season?
Because that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
last
it was
season.
great.
We are Victory fans, by the way.
I hope we can replicate the last 2 months, maybe not the first 3.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, well, look, we actually have our first friendly match tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how we all go. And
Yeah.
you know, we came back fresh, and the atmosphere is great around the club. I must say, everyone's really excited about the season to come. There's a bit of a clean out happening, which it was expected. And, you know, we're excited about the signings that they're talking about. We have a new defender arrived. He should be in Australia. So it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time of the season because, you know, there's a lot of players to come. And you know, I've been at the club a while now. And, you know, Broxy and I often talk about it. And, you know, to see these new players come and what they can bring is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, well, just on that, can you shed any light on what's happening with Keisuke Honda? Is he available? Is he in talks? You know, are they going for him?
Yeah, well, look, I only know as much as everyone else. People are telling me about it.
Yeah.
Well, Muscat said he does want him there.
Yeah, look, he'd be fantastic, and
Yeah.
I'd love to have him as well. I guess it all just comes down to figures and to the player himself. I mean, I believe they are discussing with him, but like they are probably discussing with many other players. So, you know, it's something that's out of my control and something that I take interest in, but more as a fan myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, you know, you are the captain of Melbourne Victory, and, you know, with youngsters growing up and aspiring to be leaders in their teams, what advice would you give to them? Like, what you know, traits and attributes should they show, you know, to become a great leader such as yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's a real tough question, and you know, a question I actually get asked often, and I've got the most boring answer. I wish I had an exciting answer, but it's not. It's boring. It's hard work. That's all it is.
That's what we always hear. Yeah.
It's hard work. It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of time, the amount of family occasions I've missed, the amount of parties I've missed because of my sacrifices for football. And that's what it's all about. It's about that hard work, willing to work harder than your opponent. You know, that's basically what it is. And that's my quality. That's what I have. I'm prepared to work harder than anyone. And that's why I have
Lead by
succeeded.
example.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you very vocal out on the pitch or anything like that?
Sometimes it depends. You know, I think as a leader, the best way to be a leader, there's no set way. I don't lead like a general in the army because I'm not. You know, I'm me. A leader has to be authentic. It has to come from you. Otherwise, if it's an act, people see through it straight away. So I'm me. If I'm angry, you know, I'll let you know. If I feel, you know, Jai Ingham needs a hug, I'll go up and I'll give him a hug.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
the
fair
type
enough,
of person
man.
I am, yeah.
Nice.
So stay true to yourself, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and people will follow. People follow for who you are, not for who you're pretending to be.
That's right.
Awesome advice.
Well, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Coach Killers podcast today. We really appreciate you giving us your time, and we wish you all the best for the upcoming season. Go the Victory, mate.
Yeah, and hopefully you're not stuck in traffic too much longer.
No, I'm pulled over. I'm in a car park now. I'm all right.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Awesome.
mate.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
See you, mate.
What an absolute legend. What a great person he is.
Superstar. Couldn't believe it.
Thank you very much, Carl. Like, you know, interviewing him, you know, giving us some insight on, you know, him being a leader and what it takes and, you know, what his philosophy is. You know, it's good for young kids
He's
growing up.
obviously one of the elite captains in the A-League, especially after
he's
hearing
a
that
veteran,
interview. You know, he is a superstar, so that's why he's succeeded, you know, in Australia at the highest level. So thank you, Carl, and we'll definitely have you back on during the season.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get Keisuke Honda on as well. That's the aim.
Yeah.
Another little bit of news in Australia. Optus Sports have bought the rights for the UEFA Champions League and the Europa League.
What an abomination this is going to be.
Oh, my God. They couldn't hack the World Cup, you know, streaming issues.
And they're going to have all these...
What do you think will happen?
Oh, mate, I don't even want to know. I'm just... You know what? Illegal stream everything.
Well, look, you know, I have Foxtel, I'm sure you have Foxtel.
I got
as
Foxtel.
well.
I got Optus Sport. I'm not keen, mate. I'm not keen for this. Champions League
Losing
on
the
Optus.
Champions League, losing the Premier League. All right, they still show the German league, the Bundesliga and the Serie A, but losing the biggest league in the world and now the Champions League. Mate, what are they doing?
Mate, you know what?
How is Optus, committing to this? Like
after the shambles of they couldn't handle bloody group matches of the World Cup, let alone finals. So you're going to give them the Champions League, mate? I think it's a terrible move.
But still, it's exciting times. In the past, it was only SBS showing one game,
which is how it should have been.
But at least now we get to watch every game, and everyone who follows the small clubs, that make it in, get to see their team. Like Roma, you get to watch them because they normally wouldn't show that game. They'll be showing a Manchester United game. Or
I think it was
Liverpool
fine the way
game.
it was. The only thing is here is too much of a money grab. I think sport should be free. There's a lot of kids out there that want to play soccer that can't afford, their parents can't afford this type of luxury for them.
In that sense, yes, but
so this is
they're providing a service. They're bringing all these games to us when we really didn't have them in the past. So
I mean, on beIN Sports, you had the option, right, to go online and watch whichever team you wanted. You could pick any Champions League game online on the online platform, right? But my point is, there's young kids out there. They can't even, there's families out there struggling, and you go bring in a system like this to watch the Champions League.
I'm pretty sure SBS will still be showing some games.
Still, I think it's an absolute disgrace.
But the rights, it's good that
I don't like it.
It's all in one place.
Don't get me started on pay TV. I reckon scrap the whole freaking thing. It's a joke.
Fair enough. Well, let's go on to fan talk.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
And our fan talk question this week comes from
tell us.
Damiano.cnt. And he asks, could you give us your views and thoughts on the Chievo situation right now and how more than a decade later, after the Juve scandal, the Serie A teams still remain corrupt and are trying to find shortcuts for every issue that they face? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, mate, I've been watching Italian football since I was a young kid, and I know Chievo very well. They're a team that has never, ever, 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 ever done anything in the league, number one.
Okay.
Number two, they do not invest in nothing. They're just there to make up that number, right?
Yep.
Which is why Italy's looking at reducing to 18 teams.
But tell us, what have they done? What is
it's
this
a joke,
issue?
right? This team... No, I'm going to continue my rant on Chievo. This team...
Sorry.
Right, every season, they finish 11th to 17th or 18th. They just beat relegation, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what they've done is an absolute disgrace to Italian football. And let alone, they've sabotaged a club in the process. So I'll tell you the situation.
Okay.
Basically... they've deliberately modified and inflated the figures of transfer dealings with another club, that club being Cesena, right? Now, Cesena have been deducted 15 points for their part in this scandal, right? And now they've gone bankrupt. Right?
Wow.
And they're very unlikely to compete in any
Chievo
division.
has destroyed them.
Yes.
Wow.
And now Cesena's unlikely to compete in any division in this season coming, right?
Oh, my God.
This is a team that was in Serie A about 4 seasons ago, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now... The problem is with the Chievo president, right? I can't believe the Chievo president, right? Mm-hmm. The authorities did not speak to him, right? So basically now Cesena's washed up. That's fine, because they're not a Serie A team. That's fine. We'll just wash up all their history in Italy, right? And let them go bankrupt. Now, Chievo last year only finished 5 points clear of 18th placed Crotone. Now, with that same point deduction, Chievo should be playing in Serie B. And that's where they should be, if you ask my honest opinion about this. How can you give one team, just because they're not in, Serie A, that punishment, and Chievo Verona, who's done nothing since I was a kid in this league, give them the chance to get away with it? It's a joke. And their president's an absolute disgrace. He should be sacked, and that whole club should go into liquidation tomorrow, mate, if it was up to me.
It's really crazy like that. This still happens. And
it's only in Italy. It's only in Italy because you've got these little clubs, these small-time hoods that are running these clubs, right? Sucking the money out of them for their personal use. And that's what it's about.
That's why this happens. That's right. That's why this happens. Great question, Damiano.
Yes, thank you for
Amazing. So that's been Fan Talk for this week.
And that concludes episode 11, guys. We hope you enjoyed the interview with Carl Valeri.
Yeah, that was amazing to have him on again. Thanks again, Carl.
Yes, thanks, mate. Also, a quick heads up, next week our game of the week will be the title clash, Arsenal versus Man City.
As we mentioned before,
which is going to be goals galore.
And also don't forget to find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram, iTunes and Spotify, all at Coach Killers Podcast.
Yes.
You know, like it, as we said, share it, you know, get all your mates on it.
Comment on our posts, please.
Yeah.
We'll be putting up heaps of posts after this
Fan
episode.
Talk will be coming up a lot earlier than it has in previous weeks. We'll, you know, put it up a few days. So
that's
get your
right.
questions in. We'll give you a shout out.
That's it.
And, you know, thank you for listening. And you've been great. And we've been the Coach Killers Podcast.
Go the Gunners!